It's Brian here, and the other day I pulled a bunch of grapevines down out of some trees at my buddy's house, and what I'm doing is I'm going to make a basket and I'm going to turn it into a live trap. And here we have the grapevines on top of the pool, soaking up some water. Okay, what I have here is 3 vines that I cut approximately about 6 foot long. And over here I got 2 smaller vines. I'm going to weave into the middle part of it to start the basket. As you can see, I've started lacing it with the smaller vines. And so what you got to do is, starting out, you go under one, over one, under one, over one. Okay, anyways, you get the idea. Then when you come back around, you're going to have to lap over 2 in order for it to work out, until later on we'll probably cut one of the spokes off, because you need an uneven number of spokes to make a nice basket, at least the way I make it. Well, as you can see here, it's not really that easy with just grapevines, not using cordage. These grapevines are fairly thick and a little bit hard to work with. I can fill in that middle later with some smaller vines. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to keep feeding around where I can cut off one of the spokes. Right now they're not probably held in good enough to do that, but right now I've got an even number of spokes. It's 10 spokes, 5 pieces of vine. I'm going to start weaving over and under and over and under, and what I'll do is I'll start off where I left off, and I'll just poke it inside one of the cracks and start going like here. I'll poke it in one of the cracks, and I'll just start going over and then under and over and under until we get this thing put together. Right now we have even amount of spokes. Well, right now it looks like the one I'm going to cut off, it looks like it's secure enough to cut off, is I'm going to cut this one off right here. One thing you want to keep in mind is to try to keep the spokes even out there on the ends. I've had to pull some of them through a little bit farther than others. And then like this one here has a natural curve to it. I'll be sure to make it start coming up towards the top. As you can see now, I've cut this one spoke off right here, and with my weaver up here, now I can start going over and under every time on an uneven amount of spokes, and we should be forming a basket. As you can see, I've started pulling these spokes in closer together as I'm going around, and of course something could get out here, and I'm going to fill that in later. These vines were a little stiff, hard to work with. I can get some smaller ones and weave in there later. And anyways, it's starting to work out real good where I'm going over and under, and I'm able to stand up now and work on it. Makes it a little easier. As you can see, I went under this one. I had a fairly long vine, about the same diameter I started out with, somewhere around here. So I'm just going to keep weaving this around, banging stuff. Well, here I have my basket, and as you can see, I tied the spokes up at the top. That way it'll start shaping the sides, and once I start getting that shape, these ribs stay in place. I'll untie it, and it'll be a little easier to feed it around. I've untied the tops. That makes it a lot easier. Start feeding the vines, I'd had to roll them up and kind of feed in between. It's kind of a real pain. But so you can see the sides starting to take shape. So now I'm just gonna, I jabbed it in where I left off over here, and I'm weaving it over and under, and just keep doing that. And as you do this basket, you want to pull real tight on these vines, push them down. It's a little bit of work and time consuming. But I'm a little bit used to that. I've been in machine work for 42 years, so I'm used to kind of some monotonous work sometimes. See, then when you get back around to where you've run out of vine, because vines are only so long. See, I've gone towards the middle with this and over, just jab it in somewhere, get it to jab in, and somewhere jab it in, and pull tight on these. See how that's popped up? Pull tight on these, pull them down. Of course, the next one coming around, it'll help pull it down. Just try to keep this as tight as you can, especially since I'm trying to make a trap. We don't want an animal to get his head through it. So we'll just continue doing that and see that it's about big enough to trap a varmint in right now. Oh, looks like I'm got my basket the size. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take and pull these around these other spokes and just keep pulling them that way, each one of them to the right, and jab them in, and that's going to hold it down. It'll help hold it down, keep it from coming apart. And as you can see, I think it's big enough to catch a good sized animal in, and I'll be tying a rock onto it to give it some weight, to make a trigger system for it to come along and eat the bait and get trapped. Hopefully we'll have us a meal. Well, there it is, my live basket trap. Hopefully it's going to work. The theory is I'm going to put a big heavy rock on it. We're going to prop it up, probably about a 45-degree angle with a trigger system on it. And as you can see, filled in the bottom with some vines. There's no cordage or anything. A little bit of work, but anyways, the theory is the animal will come along and boom, got dinner.